In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Really? At the very beginning, God created Earth? Like, we know that our solar system is relatively new. We weren't even close to being the first planet in the universe. Wait, what am I saying? Science and truth are stupid. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to A Raging Atheist. I am a raging atheist, and today I'm going to start a new series, Why the Bible is Stupid, where I go through the Bible from an atheist perspective and tell you why I reject it. First, gotta send that shout out to my patrons. If you would like to support this channel and influence this channel, link is in the description below. Okay, so some Christians just love to bash on science. Bash on evolution? Here, let's take a look.
Well, some book that you refer to, the Bible, claims that God created the heaven and the earth. That's what it claims. You claim that a singularity, whatever that is, produced everything in the Big Bang.
You don't just go to a junkyard and say a tornado came through and then built this nice Mustang or this nice Camaro. You don't just say that these type of things are created out of accident.
I myself am convinced that the theory of evolution, especially to the extent to which it has been applied, will be one of the greatest jokes in the history books of the future.
The Bible tells us to avoid oppositions of science, falsely so-called. Now, if he's talking about science falsely so-called, there must be such a thing. So what is it? Well, it's pretty obvious in our generation. The huge example of that is the Big Bang and evolution.
Christians are so crazy. Kent Hovind and his ilk say the Big Bang and evolution are the dumbest things they've ever heard. But let's take a look at what they believe. Genesis chapter 1 verses 16 through 19 says, God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. So God made the sun and the moon 4 days after he created the earth and the actual light that bathes it. So let's recap. Day 1, God makes the universe and the earth as well as the light that bathes the earth. On the second day, God made the sky and separated evening from morning. But there is no moon yet and no sun, because that comes 2 days later. On the third day, God turns earth from a water world into a world with dry land. And he made all the plant life, the trees and vegetation, living things that need sunlight to live, and yet there is no sun yet. That happens the next day, and it's the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. And I have covered it plenty. Eric Hovind says God brought a light with him. Pastor Sherry says God was the light and was running all over the world for those first 4 days. On the fifth day, God made all the fish and the birds, but on the sixth day is when the magic really happens, because that is when, in his infinite wisdom, God gives us the line that would produce Kent Hovind 7,000 years later. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. But God wasn't done. Because how much fun is a world that only has plants and wildlife? You need little gods running around it, fucking everything up. I mean, you can't have a soap opera without the drama.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
But here we get to meet the first real woman. She has been called Lilith, though the Bible doesn't name her. I think that's Jewish lore. But let's check it out. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 said, So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Now, this is before he would make Eve. So this is clearly saying that he made a woman before he made Eve. Some Christians seem to deny that Lilith ever was a thing, but here their own Bible tells them differently. So here we have God's first mistake plain as day. You don't make a woman a god. They're way too emotional. You only make the men the little gods. But we'll talk about how he rectifies this mistake in the next video. But ultimately, as an atheist, this very first chapter of the Bible ends with every reason for me not to trust it, not to believe it, and to think it's fiction. Genesis chapter 1 verse 31 says, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. So looking at all he has made, he saw it as good. Even mankind that would go on to ravage this world with war and our greed, destroying this planet generation after generation. If God, knowing all that was to come, saw mankind as good, well, either this God is fucking stupid or this book is full of shit. As always, I'm Nakasuchi, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. And the Bible, well, it's fiction.